In this video, I've compiled the 25 best PlayStation 5 games that were not released on PS4. These are projects exclusively for the current generation, which will help you choose an interesting game. Plague Tale: Requiem. Although I prefer the first part for its dynamic gameplay and storytelling, the sequel turned out great. The graphics have become even better, and the scenes with massive swarms of rats are stunning. The gameplay has become more varied, the locations are larger, and the plot hints at a continuation. Alan Wake 2. This game is very different from the first part, but has improved both in terms of the story and gameplay. Here there are two main characters with varying styles of gameplay. Saga Anderson's episodes are reminiscent of the original, but add evidence gathering and processing on a board. Alan Wake's episodes, on the other hand, are more phantasmagorical and filled with memorable moments. ASTRO'S Playroom and ASTROBOT. The free ASTRO'S Playroom not only showcased the capabilities of the DualSense controller, but also turned out to be an excellent 3D platformer with many references to other games. However, this free game slightly overshadowed the full-fledged ASTROBOT released this year. Visually, they are similar, and the gameplay is also alike. But ASTROBOT is an amazing game with engaging mechanics and plenty of details that video game fans will appreciate. Baldur's Gate 3 is the best RPG I've ever played. Every character, whether a hero or a villain, is developed so deeply that it makes you want to explore every location, complete every quest, and find every secret. In Baldur's Gate 3, your decisions significantly affect the ending, quest development, and relationships with NPCs, making every playthrough unique. Black Myth: Wukong. At first it seemed to me like a typical Souls-like game, but after playing a bit more, I can say it's not. The combat system here is deeper than it initially appears, and the penalties for mistakes are less harsh. The enemies and bosses are genuinely challenging, but there's no feeling of unfairness. The hero doesn't die from one or two hits. Moreover, the player has access to special abilities and potions that make battles easier. However, your skill still plays a key role, especially in fights with final bosses. Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons Remake is the debut project of the studio known for A Way Out and It Takes Two. The game tells a touching story of two brothers who set off in search of water from the Tree of Life to save their sick father. Their journey is full of dangers, encounters with friendly creatures, and challenging puzzles. Dead Space Remake. I didn't play the original Dead Space, but the remake was a revelation for me. It features excellent graphics, physics, sound design, and an engrossing story. Every detail contributes to the atmosphere, and the game is completed in one breath. It's a must-play for fans of space and horror games. Deathloop stands out with its unusual mechanics, which don't immediately reveal themselves. The game features only 4 locations, and they are looped in a Groundhog Day format. However, each location changes depending on the time of day, offering new opportunities and secrets. The essence of the game is to unravel all the mysteries, eliminate the visionaries, and live through the perfect day. Demon's Souls. This game pioneered the Souls-like genre and has returned in a revamped version on PS5. For me, it's the best game in the genre, with perfectly balanced difficulty, incredible bosses, and atmospheric locations. Each zone is unique, and the technical execution is top-notch. For instance, the sound of the bell in the narrow prison corridors induces real dread, foreshadowing an encounter with a terrifyingly dangerous enemy. GHOSTRUNNER 2 is a thrilling cyberpunk-style action game that will test your nerves. The bosses, in particular, are unforgiving, punishing even the smallest mistakes. Compared to the first part, the game has become more varied, from the level design to the combat system. It's a true challenge that won't let you relax for even a second. Despite its restrained reception, Ghostwire Tokyo still deserves attention. From an aesthetic point of view, the game is stunning. You rarely see such graphics on the PS5. While the combat system might seem repetitive, the idea of replacing traditional weapons with spells and talismans feels fresh. The enemies are so atmospheric that it's interesting not only to defeat them, but also to study them. I was skeptical about Helldivers 2 before its release. The trailers looked underwhelming. However, after the launch, my doubts were dispelled. Although new content is being added at a slower pace, the game is still fun to play. It's important to note that there is no single-player mode. You'll need to team up with friends or random players. Hi-Fi Rush is a bright and dynamic game about a guy with a musical implant, where the entire world moves to the rhythm. Hi-Fi Rush impresses with its colorful graphics, humor, and memorable gameplay. Initially an Xbox exclusive, it's now available on PS5, a fact not everyone might know. Marvel's Spider-Man 2 continues to delight fans, offering improved graphics and PS5 performance. Everything here is more spectacular and technologically advanced than in the first part. While I prefer the original game, it's the sequel where the PS5's potential truly shine. And traversing the open world is still just as exciting as the combat. The main feature of the medium is the simultaneous display of two realities, the real world and the spirit world. Switching between them helps solve puzzles. The story is dark and intriguing, though the gameplay can feel repetitive at times. Overall, the game leaves a positive impression and a pleasant aftertaste. Fighting games hold their place in the new generation of consoles. I've tried Mortal Kombat 1, Street Fighter 6, and Tekken 8. All are fantastic, each with its unique features. Graphically, Street Fighter 6 and Tekken 8 have made noticeable advancements compared to their predecessors, showing an evident technological leap. Pick any game and enjoy the battles. At launch, Payday 3 faced numerous issues: server instability, bugs, and limited content. However, a year later, many of these problems have been resolved. The gameplay has become more dynamic, progression has improved, and AI and co-op mechanics have been enhanced. While it still doesn't quite match the second game, it's now well worth attention, especially for fans of the genre. Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, a fun and vibrant game that charms with its simplicity. The only downside is the levels featuring puzzles with Clank and the spider bot, but everything else makes up for it. The game's biggest strength is its weapons. Each new type is so original that you can't wait to try it out. Remnant 2, a hardcore roguelike best played with a partner. The bosses and mobs are merciless, making it hard to survive alone. The game impresses with its replayability. Every new attempt generates unique locations, items, and boss encounter. This keeps each playthrough fresh and unpredictable. Returnal, this single-player roguelike on PS5, can surprise even skeptics. At first glance, it seems challenging due to the abundance of flying red projectiles, but the gameplay hooks you from the first minute. The game balances hardcore and entertainment, offering an unforgettable experience throughout. The gameplay in Returnal left a strong impression. The shooting is top-notch, and the controls are responsive. While the game is difficult and requires multiple attempts, it's incredibly engaging. The RIFTBREAKER is an unexpected blend of action and strategy. In the game, you control a mech on an uncharted planet, exploring it, gathering resources, building bases, and fighting aggressive fauna. The balance between exploration and action is almost perfect, and the gameplay is utterly captivating. ROBOCOP has always been my hero, and this new first-person project inspired by the films of the 80s and 90s met my expectations. Controlling the powerful metal hero feels like driving a tank ready to destroy enemies. The game perfectly captures the atmosphere of the cult films, and all the iconic features from the original were added with love. The remake of Silent Hill 2 is one of the scariest games I've played recently. The atmosphere of tension and mystery at the beginning of the game is powerful, and sound effects like the radio static add to the suspense. While it's not the most challenging survival game, thanks to an abundance of ammo and health kits, the remake excels in every other way. My first encounter with Stellar Blade wasn't great. The parry mechanics felt clunky, the bosses were too easy, and the music didn't quite fit. The game isn't perfect, of course. Most side quests are forgettable, and the world isn't very diverse. It's better to focus on the story campaign. It's interesting and leaves you anticipating a sequel. If the game draws you in, you can dive into additional activities later. V Rising offers a unique take on the vampire setting, which is rarely explored in modern games. The gameplay mechanics include gathering resources in an open world, processing materials, and inevitable grinding. But it's not tedious. You can collect resources while heading into action, and co-op mode with friends makes the process even more enjoyable. The vampire theme and the ability to build your castle make V Rising a truly captivating adventure. So those were the 25 best PlayStation 5 games that every console owner should try. Each one showcases the power of the new generation and unique approaches to gameplay. I hope this overview helps you find something you'll enjoy. Share in the comments which games have already won your heart and which ones you're most excited about. Don't forget to subscribe and hit like. See you in the next video.